sometimes we find that it's harder for us to find these kind of opportunities, and we feel like there's not really a place for us within the artistic community and be involved in art outside of just my sketchbook.
I think Changemakers is important because of representation and feeling like I'm being seen.
The project is really helpful for me, and yeah, I feel good about it.
Hope to gain a lot more experience. Obviously, what I want to do, and gain more knowledge and different aspects of art that I want to get into.
They're great qualities, and not where they're from or their background or the colour of their skin. So I feel like with art we can help change that.
It also gives me a bit of experience to put that into my portfolios as well. I think it is important because we get to set examples for other people who may have interest in doing similar stuff to what we do as well. So it's good to just document the process and then have other people view the process as well, and then they can learn from our experiences.
To develop their skills a lot more. We're nurtured into becoming artists instead of just going into the deep end, and then at the end we're also able to showcase our own pieces of art at an exhibition, which I believe can boost my CV and my portfolio. Another thing I wanted to gain from this is connections with industry jobs and positions where people may come through to the exhibition in the end, and I can sort of connect with them and showcase what I can do for myself and for others. The art board, to learn more about the business side of being an artist, and learn about organisation skills, not just creating art itself, but also managing it and getting into different circles.
Like this, it gives them an award in a sense, so it gives them something for the CV, but it also gives them an opportunity to express and explore something that they might not have done before.
After pandemic, a lot of young people are going through a lot of emotional and mental health issue, and art is a form of way they can express themselves without actually fearing. The young people who taking part on this project, I want them to develop and lead other future initiatives for many other young people in the future.
The things that I think is very much lacking in the art scene in general is representation from artists of different backgrounds, and it's just wonderful to be able to reach those young people at the point where they're at the beginning of their careers and engage them into the visual arts.
Less red tape and barriers for entry into the art scene. Programs like this are just going to enable that.
How do we connect with what's happening right now? Not only for this moment, but for these moments that's to come afterwards. Because as we know growing up, there's many instances, there's many hurdles that come. So how are we able to create that long-term plan and the measures and the support in place and those creative angles and those creative positions, those creative initiatives for a much more longer basis? How are we able to give that to young people? And how are we able then to open up pathways for their careers?
Changemakers, I'm really looking forward to seeing the change, the impact that has on the young people, and for them to express themselves, to see their work within the community, to share it outside, to be a part of the spaces, and to be learning from artists with lived experience. I think it's just so important and so valid.
Hi, I'm Georgia, and being part of this project has meant a lot to me because I think even before the pandemic, I always struggled with finding places and things to do and a place where I felt accepted. You know, I tried ballet, I tried drama, but all these different things, there wasn't anyone who looked like me, and there wasn't anyone who had a similar background to me. And so being part of Changemakers really gave me that opportunity to be there with people like me and have a moment to just think about, you know, how our backgrounds give us this disadvantage that actually shouldn't affect us. And it's been really great to just, you know, see artists who work professionally, who do this for a living, who have a similar background to me, and see that there is a space for us in the arts.
that kind of fair share has not been fair, and people are going to need more of a hand, or people are going to have to be approached in a more nuanced and bespoke way in order to ensure that there is a more equal playing field. And I think we are all stakeholders in that process and in that journey. In the next few years, they are the people we need to be arming and equipping and making sure that they're approaching, the task at hand with as much resource and help as possible.
How do we build systems? How do we build cultural industries and creative workplaces where they do need us, because what we're offering absolutely serves them and works on their terms, not the other way around? Being willing to really place young people at the centre and honour their needs, and us adapt and shift around that.
So all of this feedback, recommendations, and some of the really hard-hitting provocations around the need for systemic and structure change really will, I hope, help us to grow a longer-term, sustainable workforce that is representative of people from all backgrounds in Wales. So in terms of next steps for Engage Cymru, one of the things that we've done is to commission a call for action resource. This is a way of consolidating learning from the Changemakers programme, both the evaluation and the training event, but also to highlight some examples of really best practice in this field. It's a way of supporting organisations to really turn their equality and diversity action plans into practice, and to really question how they might be more inclusive and equitable in terms of their practice around recruitment and engagement processes. It's also about supporting visual arts organisations to examine what systems they need to have in place to diversify the workforce in meaningful and sustainable ways.
Kids being out there, they could be in a place like this where they're actually trying to find different skills. There needs to be more places like this for kids, or for people who want to be trained. There's definitely need to be more places like this. Because a form of art is for you.
I think Changemakers has been successful in introducing arts in society and ethnicity, and making it clear that ethnicity and gender doesn't matter, and art is like for everyone. So it made it more clear that art is not only for one type of ethnicity, and everybody could do art, either young or older people. Yeah, it helped boost my confidence and gave me a bit more it helped me value my art more. I used to be a bit insecure about it, but it helped me boost my confidence about it as well.
This evening, what I shared was a piece of mine called Perspective, which was a spoken word visual about the era which I live in, and a social commentary piece which challenges the negative portrayals of that era. It's still learning to adapt to different challenges and showcasing what I have and accepting the truth that even though it's not a finished process. Interesting cycle, very thought-provoking. Had the opportunity to learn about my artist inspirations and then learn about different art forms, be it theatre and art gallery spaces, which I wouldn't have done previously to that. But then on the flip side, the organisational skills, trying to piece everything together with everything outside going on externally has been a challenge, but then, like I previously mentioned, learning to adapt.
Before the course, I would never have thought of going to exhibitions and boring. It's interesting because you're seeing what other artists see and what other artists do, and how they exhibit that is interesting because it inspires you in that way. Yeah, I feel I have more confidence now to approach an artist and say, hey, look at this piece of art. Do you think it's good? Do you think it's bad? It's also helped me realise, it's okay for other artists to view your art. It's okay to ask them, can you see this piece of art for me? Can you give me advice?
I'm losing you, 'cause you're